Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Afron Framble, and today I'm starting a new series of videos in the lead up to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth that takes a look at the chapters of Remake and anticipates what the future holds in store for us. A couple weeks ago, Square Enix released a teaser trailer for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth that ushered in an 18-month waiting period up to December 2023. While the game may not come out that December 2023, it'll be close enough to the release where it will assuage the wait, doing any videos and content up until then. So there happens to be 18 chapters in Final Fantasy VII Remake. So I thought, why not take a look at each chapter, one each month? Then I can also speculate on what Rebirth will bring, divide up the sections of the original based on a walkthrough for Final Fantasy VII. So there's so much speculation on what Square Enix is going to do in the next two installments of Final Fantasy VII. I'd like to talk about what Square could do and what makes sense for them to do, what they might do, based on the original, the remake, previous games like 15, just some ideas of, like, for example, the snake, Midgar Zolom, I don't remember, I think it was something like to that effect. It sounded sort of like Midgar Zolom. It was an enemy in Final Fantasy 15 that you would encounter, or even just one of the regular big snakes that you would fight. It would be great if they just blew that up and made that into the Midgar Zolom. And in fact, I think they might have been putting those assets together with the remake in mind, or Rebirth. I guess now it's Rebirth, but you know what I mean. They were thinking ahead while they were putting those assets together. Really, this video series is for me and anyone else who wants to see a countdown format concurrent with the timing and chapters of Remake. I haven't seen anything quite like that online, and I figured there's so much content out there. What could I possibly do that hasn't been done? And really, this is kind of birthed out of the old Mark Twain adage: if you can't find a good story to read, write one. So to see this countdown happen, I'm creating one. So I grew up playing the original, and I loved the remake, with only a couple gripes. The same texture loading issues and story deviations that everyone else didn't know how to feel about, and then either grew to be okay with or hated. I don't think too many people loved those the story changes and the new direction they're going in. I'm open to it, and I think I know why they're going in that direction. The Square Enix didn't want to tell the same story, and like, what's the point of having the same thing retold if it's already spoiled for us essentially? If we know, if we know all the twists, if we know what's going to happen. So I think they're trying to go in a different direction so as to tell a new story that's going to surprise us, the shock and awe, and maybe make a story that I mean, I don't know how good it can be compared to the original, but I'm open to seeing what they're going to do. I mean, with as much as they've done with the character creation, the voice acting, I mean, the voiceover is kind of the localization it has to be. They're American actors, essentially, so that's kind of a localized thing. But with what they've already done with the enemies, the characters, and a lot of what they did that stayed true to the original, maybe they could pull something off. Maybe not as intense and creative and surprising as the original twists, but maybe they'll pull something off. Maybe they'll do something really great. I hope they will. At any rate, I can't wait for the story to unfold. And while I'm playing other games that come out in the meantime, Crisis Core, Reunion, Ever Crisis, and even like other games that are outside the franchise, other like Nintendo games, like Breath of the Wild 2 is supposed to be coming out. I'd like to go on a parallel journey, keeping track of trailers and information being released. At the same time, I'm reviewing the remake and speculating on the future. So sit back and enjoy the journey on the path to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.